It's very depressing that we only have 3 games left in the NFL season, but on the bright side, we have the 4 best teams left, so we can only expect great games from this point on. And the one I want to highlight today is the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Kansas City Chiefs. More specifically, how the Bengals can beat the Chiefs again. And let me tell you, it is not how they beat them last time. Last time they played, Joe Burrow had 446 yards passing, Jamar Chase had 266 yards receiving. That seems like the most obvious answer, but I think it would be the wrong approach going into this game if I'm the Bengals. A big reason for that is in the Bills' last game against the Chiefs, their obvious best receiver is Stephon Diggs, and he finished the game with 3 receptions for 7 yards. Not because the Chiefs have a top 3 lockdown corner in the league, but it was all about how they schemed against them. So let's look at some Bengals and Chiefs film and on the specifics on exactly how the Bengals can pull this off, because even though the Bengals won in Week 17, they're 7-point underdogs going into this game. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. The Kansas City Chiefs are very aware that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are their 2 best players on offense, and if they watched the film, they saw that they gave up a ton of these one-on-one matchups where Joe Burrow would just quickly find Jamar Chase up the sideline and win the one-on-one matchups. But they also saw that the Tennessee Titans sacked Joe Burrow 9 times in this game. So if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, you have to come in with a completely different game plan, because if the Kansas City Chiefs can shut down Stephon Diggs with the Bills, obviously Josh Allen's favorite target, then they're going to be able to do the very similar thing to Jamar Chase by schematic. So we're going to see how we can counterpunch, how we can counteract what the Kansas City Chiefs are going to try and do in this game. And I think the Bengals are going to have to win this game a lot more like they played the Steelers, where Joe Burrow was a very efficient 20 of 24 for 190 yards, and Joe Mixon had 28 carries for 165 yards, 5.9 yards a carry. And TJ Watt and Taco Charlton are hungry. They see this. They know the Bengals offensive line isn't very good, so they're going to be rushing upfield very hard. I mean, look at, we have CJ Uzama. He's in a tight split look, and we have TJ Watt all the way out here in a 9 technique. So they're going to get after Joe Burrow from the outside, and how you counteract this and what they had a lot of success with against the Steelers is draw plays. So draw plays are really good when you don't have a great offensive line pass protecting, but look at Taco Charlton on the left and TJ Watt. They're in a full-blown pass rush. We have Cam Hayward up there getting upfield in the middle, but they consistently were able to do this to the Steelers, playing against their aggressiveness and playing into the fact that they didn't have a very good run protection. And they ran a lot of this on 1st and 10, obvious passing downs, which the Bengals love to pass it on 1st and 10 to get ahead of the sticks because Joe Burrow is very efficient, but this puts them in an even better spot for 2nd and 3rd and short, and we're going to see another one right here. And even when the Steelers are in a 1-high look and you don't have the numbers in the box, the edge rushers just completely take themselves out of the play by not, when you see it's a run, you're supposed to squeeze down, play your gaps, but when you think it's a pass, you're getting upfield to get after the quarterback. This is where a lot of stuff happens, and actually Joe Mixon, I would have really loved to see him make this cut, because the tackle did a really good job on Cam Hayward sealing him out. If he's able to make this cut, he is off to the races, but he doesn't make it. He runs into a lot of people. He kind of just stepped over $1 to pick up some pennies, because this play could have been massive. But again, draw plays are going to be very, very effective, because Chris Jones and Melvin Ingram are going to be hungry at coming after Joe Burrow, and whether it's scheme or just natural instinct, they're going to want to get the sacks. They're going to get up the field and attack the Bengals offensive line, and this draw play is a great counteract to it. And again, this is another play that the Bengals ran and had a lot of success against the Steelers. So they're going to sit in a 2-high. Jamar Chase is going to be in the backfield. He's going to do like this orbit motion out to the right, and they're going to get the numbers. So now we have a wide receiver on a corner, a wide receiver on the corner, leaving Jamar Chase one-on-one with this deep safety. And the Bengals receivers are actually really good at pass blocking. And so this RPO type of look is what the Bengals can exploit, because not only are they 2-high, it's going to be a run-heavy set. They're going to pull the guard. They're going to pull the tackle on this play, leaving the defensive end completely unblocked, just paralyzed, not being able to do anything, because Joe Burrow has the legs to run this quarterback option, so they have to respect it. And on this play, Jamar Chase getting the ball in open field, he's going to be off to the races. They have a lot of success with getting the ball to Jamar Chase in the flats and letting him work upfield. But if we see the end zone angle, this run was there too, so it's just pick your poison. How do they want to get the job done? They actually block this really well, and if I'm Joe Burrow, this is a great run. Like, look at Joe Mixon's running lane if he hands the ball off right here. Joe Mixon could have, if he had this ball, cut it up, be already to the 2nd level, because the linebackers kind of washed themselves down the play. The Bengals with their pulling guards, leaving the defensive end unblocked, having to respect this read option. So now they kind of have 3 options here. Joe Burrow can pull it if the defensive end is really aggressive, so you kind of leave him in no man's land. Joe Mixon has a really good running lane right here in a 2-high shell, and obviously what we see when we get the ball to the Jamar and open chase, he is able to just game break, get huge plays. And I should mention, very similar to draws, this is the same thing for screen passes, making them think that, oh yeah, I got right pass, and because the Bengals offensive line has been so bad, it's not going to feel weird if you're coming in scot-free or they give like a little chip, and this is going to be a great way for Joe Mixon. But this all sets up when you see the single high safety look. Now we have Jamar Chase one-on-one. We're going to have CJ Uzomah come across the field and this back-end receiver come across the field as well. But once you get them into a one high and you can get these one-on-one matchups, you can make them even more favorable with play action plays like these. And I loved how the Bengals attacked the Steelers throughout the whole game with a very efficient passing game, but getting Joe Mixon involved and having a really, really successful day. And we're going to look a lot more of what the Bengals can do on offense because this Kansas City Chiefs offense is nearly unstoppable. We saw them against the Bills, the #1 defense in the NFL, just be able to do whatever we want. So we have to have our offense be the best defense. Hopefully Kansas City can get off to a slow start and we can implement some of these things. But we're going to see a very undisciplined run stop from the Kansas City Chiefs because we have Melvin Ingram right here. Either this is his gap or he's coming in for an inside move pass rush. But right here, this linebacker, whether if you're going to squeeze down, you have to replace. You cannot leave this outside. They're in a two-high shell. Daniel Sorensen is somewhere over here. And if they're making Daniel Sorensen be the outside gap, the 7 or the 9 technique in the run game, the Bengals should exploit this, especially when they see him coming in too high. But let's watch Melvin Ingram come in on the inside and watch 56 completely fall for this counter. He's going to get sucked inside. I really don't see what gap responsibility he's supposed to have. I'm guessing he's supposed to be on the outside, but if schematically the Chiefs are trying to get Daniel Sorensen to fill this in, the Bengals should exploit this because that is so undisciplined and just a very poor design, especially on this. And these are all 1st and 10 runs. So when you see him in a too high, you want to run the ball, get Joe Burrow in 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4, so he can play that short pass game because not only can Jamar Chase win his one-on-one matchups very fast, but you also have T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, CJ Uzomah can win very quickly, and that's where Joe Burrow is going to be at his best because they are not going to give you those one-on-one matchups on the outside anymore in this game. And again, 1st and 10, when you see the Kansas City Chiefs in too high, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blockers. There's 8 in the box. These are great numbers, especially on 1st and 10. You have to capitalize on this, especially if the edge rusher's first impression on a 1st and 10 is going to want to be getting upfield. You're going to have success on 1st and 10, especially in attack when they're in a too high. And most of the game, they're going to be in too high. You know why? That's how you have to double Jamar Chase. If you're going to go to a 1 high, you're going to leave Jamar Chase on an island one-on-one, and the Bengals will exploit that every single play. So they're going to be more than likely being a too high. You're going to have to run the ball effectively, either with screens, draws, or just running the ball when you have a favorable box, getting these 2nd and 3rd and shorts. But once you run them out of it and get them to a single high, you have to attack. And the Chargers played the Chiefs really, really well in this game. If it wasn't for a few 4th downs that they didn't convert on or a few bad interceptions that happened in this game, they were right in this. So right now, they have 5 on the line. There's 5 in the box. This man, again, is going to be put in no man's land. This is going to be an RPO where he's going to run it. But picture this is Jamar Chase out here. How do you like this matchup out here? And you're just going to have your choice because Jamar Chase is going to get the edge. This guy's going to be a non-factor, and the Bengals receivers can get this up. It's going to be a one-on-one matchup with the safety. This time, they do have, and they still have the numbers in the box, which just blows my mind. This is how the Chiefs are playing it, but that's what happens when you're going to play in a too high shell. They're going to run it. They're going to get a very effective run on this play. But again, look at the top of your screen. If that's Jamar Chase, I love the matchup with Jamar Chase with the ball one-on-one, especially when you're like in a 2nd and medium. These RPOs, these draws, these screen are going to be the end of the Chiefs, and they cannot come out and play like the Bengals were in their Week 17 matchup because the Chiefs are going to play a lot more like they played the Chargers and like the Steelers played the Bengals. And another thing I'd really like to see the Bengals do is off their play action, using Joe Mixon in the backfield a lot like the Chargers use Austin Eckler. Because on this play, the play action does a few things on this. One, it's going to make those really hungry edge rushers play their running lanes. And also, Justin Herbert is going to find his tight end over the middle right here. But I like this pass a lot more. So let's say this is Austin Eckler. Let's say this is Joe Mixon. Get it to your running back out in the flat because I like it a lot more that he's running forward. I like him to do some Looney Tunes-ass juke moves to get up the sideline and get loose. And we see and know Joe Mixon can do as an all-pro running back. Opposed to hitting your tight end in the middle of the field, that's more than likely just going to catch the ball and get tackled right on the spot. I would really love to see not only the Bengals use play action when they see single high coverage and see the one-on-one matchups, but get the ball to Joe Mixon in open space running forward because the Chiefs really didn't defend it all this well when they were playing the Chargers. So in the end of the day, I really like the Bengals' chances with how many offensive weapons they have. So obviously they have Jamar Chase, who is a superstar receiver, but the Chiefs know that. Everyone on planet Earth knows that. So they're going to come out and attack that, not let them get one-on-one matchups. So you have to do what the Chiefs are going to allow you to do. And you know your offensive line isn't that good, so you have to counterpunch that with draws, with screens, getting the ball into open space, playing the RPO game, getting the wide receivers and getting a favorable box, putting the defensive ends in really, really hard situations. That's what it's all going to be about. If the defensive ends on the Chiefs are uncomfortable, that's how you're going to win this game. And I'm not really going to, again, I didn't go over what you're going to have to do to stop the Chiefs on offense, because really, what are you going to do? You're really going to have to hope they get out to a slow start, because they can score fast, or they can methodically drive the ball down the field like they have been doing all season. But again, the Bengals being 7-point underdogs, I really think this is going to be a lot closer matchup than a lot of people think. But I want to know what you guys think. Is this the recipe that you see that the Bengals have to do to beat the Chiefs? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure to like this video if you like videos like these, and make sure to subscribe if you enjoy daily sports content. I appreciate you all so much for checking out the channel, and as always, I will see you all tomorrow. Peace!